many apartments or what kind of apartment should I be investing in? Now, the purpose for me, for you, if the purpose of real estate is to generate cash flow, or if the purpose of real estate is to generate income, the kind of income, or if you are an investor, if you are somebody who is interested in making money from real estate, then I'm talking to you. But if you are somebody who is just interested in possessing the land, possessing the apartment, you are a possessor, you want to be a possessor, you just want to own, you want to be what I call a glorified landlord. If that is what you want to achieve, what you want to become, then this class might not be for you, because you are just only interested in the emotional side of the property. Oh, the street property is you are interested in whether the toilet is big, whether the bedroom is big and all that, because you want to live in that kind of property. I'm not to people who want to live in the property that they are investing in. I'm talking of people who want to make money from the property that you are investing in. So what you are investing in as a real estate investor, the money side is greater for you, or you have prioritized making money than living in the property. So if you have prioritized making money as core, then this class is actually meant for you. So today we're going to be talking about the factors that up a buying decision in real estate. What are the things that you should look out for? Now, you need to invest in property that gives you consistent income. In property that gives you consistent income. In property that gives you consistent income. Now, real estate is not meant for those who are only rich. Real estate is actually for those who want to build consistent income. Real estate is also for those who want to be able to maximize true wealth and be able to use that true wealth to be able to leverage. Now, you must begin to think in terms of consistency. I want to make money not just once. I want to be able to make money again and again. I don't want the flow of cash in my life to cease. I want the investment I will have to continuously make money for me over a particular period of time. And if I am interested in making money over a particular period of time, then that means I must be consistent in the way I do it, in the way in the kind of invest. I must be focused on the kind of invest. I must be focused in the kind of investment that I put my money into. So what type of investment should I put my money into? I will invest into property that gives me or guarantee me consistent income. Consistent income is very, very key. I'm not talking of income that will just come and go. I'm talking about income that will be consistent. So what are the kind of things that makes up a consistent income? The kind of income that the kind of property that I put my money into that can generate me wealth again and again. One of the things that a lot of people have challenges with in real estate, and that's one of the things that is because the property that they are investing into is not generating them consistent income. Like for example, if you buy, let's say you buy maybe a couple of land somewhere, the couple of land might only appreciate over a period of time. But the land on itself is a lazy asset until you start using the land. So the land itself will not give you guaranteed income. What the land can only give you will only give you consistent income over a period of time. I hope I'm clear. You can only give you, it is the land that you use that has capacity to generate income for you. The land that you do not use does not have capacity to generate income for you. Now, land in itself is a lazy asset. Land in itself is an asset that does not automatically lead to income. Land in itself, it is the land that you use that will give you direct income for you. So what you need to do with your land is that you need to convert your land to develop something on your land that will help you generate consistent income. How do you generate consistent income? You generate consistent income into usability, into factoring usability. Now, if a tenant uses your property, or if you build a structure and somebody comes to rent your property, that person renting the property is probably going to use your property. Now, even if he's not going to live in your house for a while, but at least he's going to use your house as storage. So one thing about real estate is that it is the real estate that is in use that people will pay you for. Nobody will like to pay rent to you if they are not using the property. So usability is a very key ingredient in your property. The more usable a property is, the stronger the value of that property. The more usable a property is, the stronger the value of the property. So a property value is not based on what? A property value is not based on the kind of structure that you have. A property value is based on the strength of its usability. The reason why 1-bedroom apartment or 2-bedroom apartment or so is very strong is because of the strength of its usability. A lot of people want to be able to use it. It is not useless to many people. But the reason why I would not advocate that you should do 7-bedroom duplex or 7-bedroom as income, as a rental income opportunity, is because the usability is very, very low. Only certain people in Nigeria can afford to rent a 7-bedroom duplex. Only certain persons. What is the average range of the average Nigeria? What is the income range of the average Nigeria? So what you are simply doing by investing in certain kind of property is that what you are doing is that you are tying down money down for a very long time. But when you invest in certain kind of property, the smaller unit, what you are doing is that you are investing into what we call into a property that has a very strong usability. So you need to focus on usability, and this is the more usable a property is, the more consistent income you can generate. The more usable a property is, the more income you can generate, the more valuable that particular property. So a property strength is based on its usability. Property is based on the number of people that are interested in using it. If that is why you find out that there are certain kind of property that while you are still building, or probably you are still renovating, some people are already paying you rent for that property. I know I've been involved in development for quite a while. Even sometimes before you even start doing some kind of development, people have started paying you for the property. Why are people paying for the property? Because the property is very highly usable. But you will rarely find yourself doing a 7-bedroom duplex, and you have people who will say, "I want to pay for the 7-bedroom duplex for rent." It is never good. I'm not sure it is ever possible, but because the strength of a property is not in the cost of the property. The strength of a property is in the usability of the property. So one of the things that you must focus on, aside the consistent income of the property, is that you must find out that you must focus on property that is usable. So ask yourself, if somebody says, "I want to sell a property to you," the question we should be asking yourself is, how usable is this property? What is the strength of this property in terms of how people are going to use this property? Or how many people will want to use this property? If you cannot figure that out, what it simply means is that you're probably going to tie your money down for a very long time. Because nobody will pay. Most times people don't pay for property because it is fine. People pay for property because they are going to use the property. So what you need to be focusing on is the usability factor of the property to be able to so that you can invest in that property. No matter how well designed or how strong the architectural structure of the building is, if the property does not have high usability, it is all, in a way, they will say, in our pidgin English parlance, we will say, "na wash." It is just beauty and glamour with zero income. So what you need to be focusing on part time is the usability factor of the property. Now, there are certain kind of property I've never really invested in, even though other people have told me to invest in such kind of property. There's a property somewhere around, I think, Ladipo. I think when Ladipo people were having issues, and somebody pitched an idea of doing clusters or shops somewhere around, I think around Ladipo 2, not too far from Ladipo. That okay, people can use that as to own shops and all that. I told the person, I'm not going to invest in shops, no matter how. And this person said, "Oh, you know what? This land market has over 5,000 people." I said, "I'm not going to invest in shops. I don't have the strength of investing in shops. First of all, because I don't think that the property value, there is a high usability factor for a rent or for a commercial property. First of all, the reason I would not invest in it is because of this third reason. The reason I won't invest in it is because it does not have it is a destructible asset. It is a destructible asset. Commercial property are destructible assets. They will make you money, but they are destructible. I would rather invest more in residential property than a commercial property, and I'm going to tell you why. If, for example, I have shops in Mushi, I'm likely to make good money, no doubt, because of trade I will make good money. But I would rather say, because I don't want to be too greedy. I will leave some people to be able to participate in certain kind of investment, but I will not participate in that kind of investment. The reason I won't participate in that kind of investment is simply this: I won't participate majorly because it is a destructible asset. So I will tell you that if you're going to buy apartments, invest in properties that are indestructible. And when I mean in properties that are indestructible, invest in markets, in real estate markets that is indestructible. What is a market that is indestructible? Every one of us, or most of us right now, because of the curfew in Lagos and in other parts of Lagos, we are very either close to our house or we are in our houses. That is, we are in a residential environment. Now, let me explain this again. A commercial property can be taken away, commercial activity can be taken away by Uber. Commercial activity can be taken away by technology. Let's say, for example, if you have a warehouse, now you are contending with Kunga, Jumia, GG, and the likes. Now because of the commercial activity. Now there are certain kind of property businesses that used to be in existence many years ago. But in the advent of technology, those businesses are already out of the way. Now today, the most valuable business in the world today, most valuable business in the world today, one of the most valuable business, I'm not sure the most valuable, but one of the most valuable business in the world today is Netflix. Another most valuable business in the world today, another most valuable business again today. Oh, Kelechi Nkoro is now the host. That's cool. Oh, that's cool. So the most valuable business that we have today, I know the most valuable business that we have, one of the most valuable businesses that we have today, are a technology business. Now, certain technology business will not require you to live in rented apartments, to rent shops. Because let's take, for example, during the lockdown period, just imagine that every month you are waiting on your tenant to pay you a sizable volume of rent during this lockdown. And because of the fact that, okay, these shops, people are not operating their businesses, what will happen to your own personal income? As a commercial investor, you now have to battle with whether taking your tenant to the court and all that, because it is not a sustainable income. It may give you, what gives you big income is different from what gives you steady income. What you are looking for is a steady income. What you need to be investing in is a property that you can guarantee that will give you consistent income over time. So don't invest in a market that is destructible. Invest in a market that is indestructible. Invest in a market that you know that over time you'll be cooling in, you'll be raking in cash on a regular basis. So don't invest in an inconsistent market. Invest in a market that is consistent. Now, the person who is a shop owner is likely to move his own activity, shop complex, away from certain places and into another place. So I would not invest in shops, no matter how lucrative it is. So when they told me, oh, come and invest in that Ladipo area, I said, I'm not going to do that. And during that particular period, after that particular period, certain things happened that I told myself that thank God I did not invest in that area. Why? Because the market is not consistent. Commercial property market is not consistent. The only consistent market in the world today in real estate is the residential market. It is the residential market, no matter how lucrative the property this is. I know that there's some error, there are some things that happen. You know of the Teddy Show market and all that. We know the ways that even to date, how much they're trying to get to sell commercial apartments. But guess what? If that property was a residential development, that development will have sold out. True or false? Reason is a residential development can be converted into two things. It can also be used for commercial activity. You can be working from your home. Some people can work from their homes. All they just need, it may just be a laptop and will not be a laptop and some of their activity. So residential development can play dual roles for a lot of people. So don't focus on the one that you are just only because the one that they told me that I'm going to make big money from it. It is the one that should give you steady income that you should be focusing on as an investor. Number 3 is that you also need to focus on the one that can give you what I call predictable income. Predictable income. Predictable income in sense of that you can always predict, because let me tell us this, we can almost predict what our income will be or what our bills are going to be on a monthly basis. We can predict that, oh, maybe our expenses it's not beyond, some people's expenses is not beyond maybe 400,000 every month, or some people's expenses is not even beyond 100,000 every month. We can estimate. We can come to that knowledge and say, okay, oh, you know what? I know what my bill is. I know what my children's school fees is. It's like, I know how much they spend for lunch. I know how much we spend in terms of electricity, in terms of the cable TV and all that. We know exactly how much I spend with my household. So some of us, we're already clear. So what you need per time is to be able to have a strong asset that can help you sort out some of those bills. So you need an asset that able to help you solve those predictable bills and some unexpected bills. So you need what I call a predictable income. But when I mean a predictable income, it doesn't necessarily have to be that, okay, it gives you an exact amount of money on a consistent basis. But you know that within a particular period, you know that this amount will always fall on your lap. So once you have that predictability, you can always still spread your asset over time. So the kind of real estate asset that I would advise anybody to invest in, the type of apartment to buy or to invest in, would always be the kind of property that is indestructible, that has an indestructible market, the one that has that is indestructible, that the income also is predictable, and the other one that is also very much tangible. Now, real estate in itself is tangible because you can see real estate. That's one thing I like about real estate over stock, about even some Ponzi scheme. When you invest in real estate, what you are investing in something that you can see. That is why it is real. You're investing in something that is tangible. You're investing in something that you can not only just feel, but you can actually see. That is why sometimes I will always advise anybody, go and see the property. If you cannot see the property, now we have virtual way of seeing, virtual site visit, whereby you can show you what is going on site. If I'm going to, maybe some other time I'll just give us I'll just share an opportunity with us on how to see. I'm going to share with us some of the things that we're also doing on our own site in one of our sites, whereby you can even be from your home and you can inspect the property. But beyond that, you need to see the property. Now, for those of us that have been in this class for a while, one of the things that I will advise us to do is to take action. Really take action. Start taking action. Go and visit property if you have to visit property. Because action is the first major law of success when it comes to real estate. Take action. Go and visit property. I have read real estate books and I've made mistakes. But the true success that I've ever made in real estate is the action that I've taken. Every time I want to do something, every time an idea comes into my head, I take action on those ideas. Every day, I'm always looking out for property to invest in. Every day, I'm always looking out for property to invest in. And so I don't look at my budget. I don't look at how much I have in my pocket. I look at what the deal will fetch me. I look at the opportunities within the deal. So what I'm doing is that every time I'm looking out for a deal, I'm looking for an opportunity. What I do is that I call it deal hunting. I look for a deal, I hunt for opportunity, I look for opportunities regularly. So anytime you probably see me on a laptop, if I'm sitting on a laptop, I'm always looking for a deal. I'm always looking out for an opportunity. I'm listening to what the market is telling me. I'm looking out for what the market is telling me that I have not listened to, that I have not paid attention to. So one of the things that every one of us need to start doing is to start taking action. To start taking action. Not just to wait for things to happen, not just to wait for things to happen, but to really take action on the things that we have heard. Because action is very, very key when it comes to real estate success. Action is very, very key when it comes to real estate success. So it is important for us to start taking action. It is important for us to start taking action. Action is very, very key. And the reason a lot of the time, people struggle because they are not willing to take action. People struggle a lot because they are not taking action. So it is important that we start taking action. We went off on Facebook. Don't mind me. So a lot of the time we are failing in real estate because we are not really taking action. Anybody with any question this evening? Anybody with a question this evening? Anybody with a question this evening? I want you to ask me a question now. Let me not beg you today. Hey Joe, please ask me a question this evening. I need us to ask a question this evening. On the topic, if I'm probably maybe questions that I have not touched on, or questions that you feel that I probably need to be able to give clarity on. If you have any question, let me know.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, my name is Olatunji. I have a question concerning the one of the topic that you've touched in the last few days. Like 2 days ago, you said something about depositing money if you want to take part of a property. Like now, it's like you are really talking about that's the playing ground. What about if it's a building that one want to acquire? So is it the same process that you negotiate and deposit at least 10% or some money for the landlord to take over the property and pay off later? I just want you to explain that area.
All right. Whether it is our own project or it is any project, you can negotiate any deal. Okay. Any deal. You can negotiate any deal. There's no deal that is not negotiable. Even if somebody, they put it in an advert and say non-negotiable, it is negotiable. They will not kill you when you negotiate. Should it is you that want to buy. It is what you have. But one thing that a lot of us will do is that we rig ourselves because of the fact that somebody has placed a price on the property. No, any price can be negotiated. Any price can be negotiated. So whether it is for an existing or a new project, you can always go and negotiate the property. You can always negotiate. It is now left to the owner, to the person who is selling, to say, I am either selling or I'm not selling. If what you have, but the issue for most people is that, first of all, they will just act. I'm not going to buy. I'm not going to, let me not make an attempt. Make an attempt first. Nobody's going to kill you. Make an attempt first. And you find out that if you're going to make an error, you make what they call, you will have gained insight into that particular property. The first day I went into a property in Banana Island. I liked the property. I told myself I'm going to do this property. We already attempted to get into doing this property. But come to think about it, when I came back again, we went to check the property a second time. I told my people who followed us that I'm not sure we're going to do this property. I'm not sure we're going to do this property. First of all, the property does not contain these 4 things that I've mentioned today. It does not have any of it. In a good location, yet does not have any of these things. It cannot generate consistent income. The question is, how many people will be able to afford to pay rent in that kind of property? Very, very few persons. So yes, the income will be so large, but the opportunities are so limited. And probably, I also told them that if I'm going to sell the property, it's probably going to take us about 6 months. I don't want to do a property that it will take me 6 months to sell. I want a property that if I'm going to sell it now, if I'm going to put it out in the market today, I will sell it tomorrow. That's how we're able to sell 120 units of an apartment in 30 days. So I want a particular property that if I'm going to sell now, if I want to put it out in the market, I'm going to sell it in less than 24 hours. Those are the kind of deal I'm looking at for. Do you understand? So you can negotiate, go and certain. It's just that some of us, we are afraid of taking action. We are afraid of saying, okay, we're afraid of. Let me tell you this: if you're going to be a real estate investor or a real estate developer or whatsoever in real estate, you have to be immune to embarrassment. You have to see, Kelechi, Be immune to embarrassment. You have to be immune to embarrassment. I want to, Mr. Olatunji, you have to be immune to embarrassment. Every one of us have to be immune. Gabriel, you have to be immune to embarrassment. You have to tell yourself that, okay, I do, even if they say, even if the price, the property, let me tell you this. I was going to go and negotiate for a property. I only had 500 naira in my pocket. The first time I want to go and buy a property, 500 naira. The question is, what will 500 naira buy? And I'm God is my witness. I'm not lying. I lie not. Only had 500 naira in my pocket to go to negotiate for a property, to go and buy a property that I only have 500 naira in my pocket. Guess what? The 500 naira in my pocket was because these people were supposed to take me on a site visit to go and see the property, and they were supposed to use their vehicle to take me there. The reason why I had the 500 naira was because I wanted the 500 naira. I wanted to be able to hold the 500 naira in case these people, their fuel finish and they cannot carry me back. I will use 500 naira to get back home. So that was why I had the 500 naira. Guess who I borrowed the 500 naira from? It was from my mom. I'm telling you that what you just see, it is not enough to sit down behind Facebook or behind Instagram or behind Zoom and be receiving lecture. After you have received lecture, go and take action. After this one now, make a call, put a call through. Tomorrow morning, take action. Because action is the most valuable thing to do in real estate. Whether you are negotiating, whether it's not about negotiation, it's not really, the negotiation is also part of action. But you cannot take action, you cannot negotiate when you are indoor. You can only negotiate when you are out there, when you are taking chances, when you are taking certain measure of risk by going to go and visit a property. If you see a dilapidated building, go and ask how much is this property? Somebody is asking me on Facebook, on Instagram, how did you purchase the property with 500 naira? I did not purchase the property. I use what I call leverage. I started selling the property. I started selling for them. They had over 200 acres of land, and I got a deal with them to sell their plot of land. And while I was making money, I was adding to it. The property was valued for, maybe if the property was valued for 150,000 naira, I was selling it for 200,000 naira. So I was making 50,000 naira on every property that was sold. On every property that was sold. This was a small me. All these people that even gave me this property, they were, when I mean, they are bigger than me. But you know what? If you can show people how to make money, they will respect you, irrespective of what your age is. And that's one of the things that every one of us who are involved in this must begin to think about. So I hope I've been able to answer that question. Somebody says houses depreciate, but land do not. What is your take? What is your take concerning this as relating investing in rental apartment? Say houses depreciate, but lands do not. That's not true. That's not true. I know somebody who bought land somewhere in Badagry for 1.2 million naira, but he's begging to sell it for 700,000 naira. The question is, did the land depreciate? Yes, the land depreciated. Because the man needs money sharp, especially during this lockdown period. He needs money sharp, and he will sell it for whatever price. So land also depreciate. It's a wrong perception to think that land does not depreciate. Land depreciates depending on what the owner wants when the owner needs money. If the owner does not need money too much, he will sell it at whatever price he wants to sell. But if the owner is desperately looking for money, he will sell it at whatever. If a crisis happens to him, he will sell it. Probably maybe he has cancer and needs to solve cancer with the property. He will sell it at any giveaway price, because that means land can depreciate. Let us not deny that part. But one thing that you must understand is this: the kind of property that do not depreciate is what I call the multifamily apartment. When you go to Orile, for example, there are many face me and face your apartments, or probably maybe face me and face your apartment that is like, sometimes they are up to maybe like 6-story building, 4-story building, 5-story building. I don't know if any one of us have seen those kind of apartment before. You go to Orile, you see 5-story building, 3-story building. Let me tell you this: somebody was going to pitch a kind of property for us. I don't know why I didn't buy that property. Somebody was going to pitch the property, and they were going to sell that property for 50 million naira. Guess what? Before I knew it, the property had gone off the market because I was delaying. I was delaying in buying that property. Now that property then, when I looked at what I will be getting every month from the property, this property had over 38 units. Am I talking? No, it had 38 units, and I think it had 38 units and 20 shops. 38 units and 30 shops and 20 shops. If the rent of the property is about, let's say it's about 250,000 naira every month, or let's even say 300,000 naira, from almost 40 units of apartment, we're going to be talking about 12 million naira being generated every year from the property. If you multiply that by 5 years, you will have generated 60 million naira. That means you will have gotten your capital back from the same property. If the rent of the property is about 300,000 naira, now you cannot tell me that that property is depreciating. It is increasing in value, because let me tell you, because the same way that property depreciate, that property will appreciate in value because it's a multi-family apartment. But it is a single family apartment that can depreciate in value, because after a while, when you have just one tenant and the property has turned left, maybe the property needs renovation, and you cannot maintain renovation, what you now find out that you will now be spending more to maintain that kind of property. But for a multifamily apartment, while you are spending more to maintain that apartment, people are jostling for that kind of property again and again. That is why you find out that many years ago, 1004 apartment was looking dilapidated at a point. But all of a sudden, there's a kind of facility management that went into it, and all of a sudden, 1004 now became under toast of the town again. Reason is this, that multifamily apartments will always appreciate in value. It is the single family apartment that depreciates in value. Land depreciates in value. Another person is asking a question. He said, how do you determine rental rates in areas you want to invest in? You can determine rental rates based on the income. I mentioned this yesterday. Based on the income of the people. What is the average income of the population? Every area, every location. Whether if you stay in Osapa, maybe for example in Osapa, London, in Lagos, in Lekki, there's a range of income. There's an average range of the income of the people that live in that place. If you stay in Lekki Phase 1, there's an income range on average income that people earn, the family earns on a monthly basis. In Ikoyi, it's also the same thing. In VGC, it's also the same thing. In Abraham Adesonya, it's also the same thing. In Shogotedo, it's also the same thing. Once you know what the average income of the people are, your rent should not exceed more than 35% of the value of their income on a monthly basis. That is, if the income of the person is about 100,000 naira, you should not be charging rent of maybe 40,000 naira. What you should be charging as rent should be within the range of at least between 25,000 to 35,000 naira every month. If you multiply that by maybe 12 months, I think we'll be talking about, well over about maybe between 350,000 naira to 420,000 naira every month. Because of that, so you can use that to gauge. You can use the income range, the average income of the location to determine what the rent should be. So it almost be like 30% of the average income on a monthly basis should be what you should call it, what should determine what rent you should be able to take. Then somebody is asking, multifamily apartment and single family apartment, what's the difference? Multifamily apartment is multiple apartments, multiple family, where you have multiple family living on a plot of land, staying on a plot of land of structure that you have built. Why a single family apartment is just maybe one family on a single plot of land that you have built. Another person is asking a question, says, can one renegotiate already existing contract? Yes, you can renegotiate existing contracts. You can only renegotiate existing contract. It is now with the party, will the other party agree? It's just depending on the other party. You can always propose. You can always bring up your proposal. Just bring out a proposal and just work with it. Somebody says, I want to invest. Which one is better to invest in? I didn't get your question. He says, which one is better to invest in? I want us in Zoom to please ask a question. Does anybody have a question? Okay, while we wait for the questions, Somebody is asking here, how do I talk to friends to crowdfund a multifamily apartment? Any legal backing? Yes, there are legal backing. There are legal backing when it comes to pulling resources together. I will say that you should send emails to info@amh.ng. If you want to go to crowdfunding, send an email right now to info@amh.ng. info@amh.ng. If you send to info@amh.ng, I think that you'll be able to get a good correspondence. Now, somebody's also asking here, it is Instagram people that are asking questions on Zoom. Should we stop this on Zoom or should we go to Instagram? Because Instagram people are doing so well today. Instagram people are asking questions. Somebody is asking on Instagram saying, I'm just 2 weeks old in real estate. Please, can you provide me with a book on real estate for me to grow? I will say you should go to my page, www.coachchudi.com/books. There's a book already on ground, The Automatic Property Millionaire. If you go there, you get the book. I think for 1,000 naira, you can download the book for 1,000 naira if you go to the page. So you can have the book there. And another person is asking, before we consider a property value, how many years maximum is one supposed to recoup their investment? I think for anybody who is investing in real estate, between 5 years to 7 years should be a good time for you to recoup your investment. For rental income property, for rental development, for rental property, between 5 years to 7 years is good for you to invest in real estate. It's good for you to recoup your investment in real estate. Do you have any question?
Ted here. I just wanted to clarify. You said we should send an email to info@amh.ng, right? Regarding the crowdfunding capital.
Yeah,
if we send them an email, will they be able to? Will they be directing us on how to do, the legal components of what's it called? Crowdfunding. Will they be giving us information about that if we email them?
Okay, is the platform, the AMH platform is a platform that helps us to invest in our own project. You understand? Is the platform that helps us to invest in our own project. Yeah.
That's what I understood it as. But when the guy was asking about crowdfunding, I was thinking what he meant was that if he wanted to crowdfund, like use his own leverage with his own friends.
Yeah.
Was that what the person was asking about?
Okay, what they just need to do is, I think what they just need to do, I think, is for them to get I think maybe that if that's the question is asked, probably I didn't complete the answer then. It should be what the person should be looking at, probably get a lawyer to help them draft the document. I've also said that you could also incorporate your investment. Let's take, for example, we are investing in maybe 50 million into a particular kind of property, and we are going to have maybe about, let's say, 12 units of apartment or 10 units of an apartment, of maybe a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm looking at doing about for 50 to 60 million naira, and all of us, maybe 50 of us, all what we just need to do is to invest maybe $1 million into the deal. And it will take us maybe about 10 months for us to spread maybe our 1 million naira, which would mean that on a monthly basis, we are going to be doing maybe 100,000 naira over a period of 10 months. And so we are looking at maybe 10 or 60 persons, 50 to 60 persons doing that every month. Now it will mean that within a period of 10 months, we'll have invested 50 to 60 million naira. Now that period, you can get within that period, before you even get started, you can get a lawyer to incorporate that investment. You understand? Or probably you guys can come as shareholders of a company, form a company together as partners, as shareholders in the company to manage that particular investment. That investment can be a company. And over time, if for example, we all say that instead of us getting our returns on the investment back, we are not going to be using our returns and use it to buy more property, so that we can continue the same way and say, okay, we are still going to buy another set of property again. I think I described it to us how we have a group of friends who actually came together. There are about 200 of them who actually came together to invest in a particular type of property. So that one, they incorporated their investment. They are running it like a legal company, so that they have an MD, they have a CEO, they have an MD, they have a chairman, they have different board that is watching over the property. They even have a property manager that helps them manage the property. So it is like a company in itself, and they are paying those people. They pay those people salaries. So it is like, you can imagine how they did an investment of about over 240 million investment. So that's how they were able to do theirs. So for anybody who can also do the same thing too, they can also do the same thing if he wants to do that with his friends. So it's just for them to be able to incorporate that, so everybody understand the terms for of the investment. I think if that's the question is asking, that's what he's probably going to be able to do. Somebody is saying, Luyinka DME is asking 5 years to recoup your investment. Is that practically possible in Nigeria today? It's very, very possible. It's very, very possible. I told you that if I, for example, I go to negotiate a property deal with a landlord that his house, he has a dilapidated house. Now, sometimes when you look at certain kind of building, it may be in areas like Agege, Mushin, and Surulere. Sometimes it will not take you, for a 2-bedroom, for example, it may not take you more than 200,000 naira to 300,000 naira to renovate properly a 2-bedroom house. And if you're going to spend that money, are you going to do that to say you are going to renovate? And if, for example, maybe the landlord owns about maybe 20 apartments or so, it's probably going to cost you about 4 million naira or 4 million naira to 6 million naira to renovate. Now, if you spend 4 to 6 million naira to renovate that building, and you put up the 2-bedroom apartment for 600,000 naira, or even say, let's say maybe 400,000 naira every year, that 400,000 naira times 3, 400,000 naira times 20 apartments is probably going to give you 8 million naira. 8 million naira, how much have you spent to renovate the house? So in less than a year or two, you've recouped your investment. If, for example, you are saying, okay, you're going to give the owner of the property maybe about 50% or even 60% of the income, you're still going to make your money in less than 3 years. So it's very practicable. It is the kind of investment that people do that is wrong. I've always also said it. It is not the investment that is wrong. It is the way people do the investment that is wrong. So it is very, very practical if you want to, if you are doing the right kind of business, if you are doing the right kind of business or the right kind of investment. Any other question, please, before we call it a day?
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Mommy Tamara. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. Good evening.
That's good. Yes, I was wondering, do you personally do one-to-one consultation?
Of course I do, but you know, I'm going to charge you. I like money a lot. You know. I'm going to charge you a lot. Just send an email to info@coachchudi.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
info@coachchudi.com. All right. So any other question, please? Any other question? Any other question? Any other question? Any other question? Before we call it a day. Okay, I want to celebrate everybody. Tomorrow we're not going to have a lecture. Okay, tomorrow we're going to have a conversation tomorrow. We're going to have a conversation tomorrow. But tomorrow I want it to be that for every one of us, we're going to have an interactive section tomorrow. And that interactive section will be the things that we have started practicing, the things that we have started working on. I want to see your note, So if you want us to do something tomorrow, the things that you have started practicing, the steps that you started taking, I want us to talk about it tomorrow. Incidentally, let me share with you something. Yesterday evening, I held another section at about 7 a.m. Yesterday evening, about 7:30 yesterday evening, after our section, just immediately after our section. And it was about 8 o'clock or so. Guess what? Somebody already has negotiated with a property owner as of 2 days ago, and has gotten more than 30-something apartments from the landowner. I was so excited that I had to even share it this morning. So for us, I believe that it's important for us to use this platform to be able to build the kind of world we want to build. So for us, all the things that we've been learning, for those of you on Zoom, those of you on Instagram, those of you on Facebook, this might be an opportunity for us to start. I want us beyond all the teaching. the things that we have learned and that we have already started adopting. The steps that we have already started taking, I want us to be able to listen. If this class is not going to make you a multi-millionaire or maybe make you become a billionaire, it is not going to be worth it. I did a training. We did a training sometime in I think in where's that place again? 4 Point by Sheraton. I would never forget. There was a man who was a property agent. A man, if I mention the name of this man, property agent, is very popular in Lagos. Today is a mega developer. When I mean mega developer, he came and he attended one of our training. And this man today is when I mean mega developer, this guy is bigger than me now in real estate. And when I mean he's bigger than me right now in real estate. And so for me, I'm so excited. That's why I'm so excited. I can teach my all when it comes to real estate. I will teach myself. I'm pouring out myself completely to everyone. So it's important that we use this opportunity to learn more and to be able to use it to build ourselves, so that at the end of 6 months, when we look at ourselves now and look at ourselves in 6 months, there will be a dramatic change. We will have seen something explosive within ourselves. We may not likely be on Instagram tomorrow. So for those of you probably watching us on Instagram, I would like to appeal to you, go to www.coachchudi.com/Zoom. You can register there. You will be part of the class for tomorrow. They will send you a link to join the Zoom class. This way we're going to have our conversation from tomorrow. For those of you on Facebook, we're only giving you the opportunity because a lot of people complain that they couldn't join us. So if you want to join us on Facebook, from Facebook, if you're from Facebook, it's better for you to get started. Go to www.coachchudi.com/Zoom. It is only going to be for those of us, because we'll be able to have proper conversation. Because on Facebook and on Instagram, we may not be able to have a one-on-one interaction with everybody, and we may not be able to see you when you are even having that discussion with you. So it's important that you migrate to our Zoom class. Our Zoom people have been enjoying for the past maybe how many days now, for the past 4 days, and they've been learning something tremendous. So it's important that we do that migration. So tomorrow we may not have that class for you. So for those of us, I want to appreciate us once again for joining this class. So Kelechi, prepare your notes. You're going to be the first person who will tell us what you have been doing about the things, what have you been doing. So you're going to be the first. Mr. Olatunji, you're going to be the second. Third, you're going to be the third. Mommy Tamara, I hope you are listening. You also be one of those who will give us some of the things that you're already doing. Then Antonia, this time around, you're not going to hide your face. You're going to be part of the class tomorrow. So we're going to be learning from you what you have been doing and some of the things that you already started adopting tomorrow. Please don't run away tomorrow. Don't tell us your network went bad. Don't tell us you have no network tomorrow. There must be network. There must be network tomorrow. Antonia, Mom Tamara, I hope you guys are listening to me, because I'm not seeing your faces this evening. So tomorrow, your network must not go bad. Your network must be very, 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 very fast, because we are going to have conversation with you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to have conversation with you on what you have been doing and the steps that you have been taking. So tomorrow is going to be an exciting time, because I'm going to have it lead the floor. I'm going to only speak for maybe about 5 to 10 minutes, and the floor we'll leave the floor to you to be able to have that conversation with us. Thank you very much. God bless you.